Well, what do we have here? Another band of brand new images and sneak peeks showing huge reveals from episodes from the Johnny Test revival coming this Friday to Netflix. So I've been sent a load of things from the community letting me know of these images and sneak peeks that can be found on Netflix. So let's dive into the video and check these out. So the first image we have is this. This is believed to be the thumbnail for the series. So as we know from a previous video, both the initial series and season 7 and 8 will not share a category, which means that both of them will have different thumbnails and will be found apart from each other. And this happens to be the thumbnail for season 7 and 8. So here we have Johnny and Dookie laying on the ground in a completely white background with their hands behind their heads. The show's logo is above their heads and the Netflix logo is in the top left corner. If you're thinking whether they've changed the logo and added this arch to it, do not fret, that is just Dookie's unibrow. Anyway, this thumbnail looks so freaking good. I actually really want this as like my phone's background, but unfortunately I have no access to a higher quality image, so hey WildBrain, if anyone is for some reason watching this and can send me a high quality version of this, that'd be immensely appreciated. Anyways, that's not gonna happen. Either way, you guys let me know your overall thoughts on the Netflix thumbnail for season 7 and 8. The next image we have is from an episode we've seen in the trailer. During such, we saw Johnny and Dookie presumably watching a scary movie on TV. Dookie proclaims, "How hard is it to make it through one measly night in the woods without freaking out?" Which where Johnny replies with, you freak out at night all the time. However, in this image we see Johnny freaking out instead of Dookie. The next image is something quite interesting. This one we have Dookie looking like he's holding his breath and jabbing popsicles into this pink bubbly entity. He has a blue cooler full of popsicles behind him. The environment behind him is dark red with many pink wiry things running from side to side. We can actually compare this image to two scenes from an episode we've seen in the trailer, where we saw Dookie, Susan, and Mary piloting this craft, and they all have popsicles. So regarding the popsicles and the environment looking similar, we are able to compare these two things. The last image we have before we move on to sneak peeks inside episodes is this. Here we have Johnny and Dookie running for their lives, away from Bling Bling Boy in a giant red mech suit. His mech seems to be loaded with origins of lasers on the chest and shoulders, and we can also see that the left hand can be turned into some kind of a blaster or flamethrower of some sort. Also, if we look in between Johnny and Dookie, we can actually take notice that his mech has Bling Bling's trademark BB logo worn on a belt piece. Like the other images, we can compare this to a scene in the trailer. During such, we've seen Eugene motoring this giant red mech. Our theory is that this scene is the characters inside a video game using self-avatars. Now, moving on to some juicy sneak peeks inside some episodes. We have 3 in total, so let's dive right into the first one. The first one is part of the image I've just shown, the video game episode. This sneak peek begins with Johnny cracking his knuckles, getting ready for a game session. While that, Dookie says a line we've heard in the trailer. "Okay, is everybody ready to play Melee Island?" He also seems to be wearing the cyan and purple glasses. After that, we see a bunch of Johnny's friends and cohorts in chaos in like a Zoom call for the game. This gives us our first look at most of the characters we've seen in the segment in the trailer retreating from a building in their regular outfits in the style, cause as we know, so far we've only seen most of these characters in those video game suits. So in this Zoom call we can see Dark Vegan, Albert, Mr. Mittens, Zizrar, Brain Freezer, a new character named Loading Screen, Mr. White, Mr. Black, Susan, Mary, Dookie, Johnny, and our first look at Gil in the style. Everyone's backgrounds look very unique to themselves, like Dark Vegan has vines, Mr. Mittens has scratching posts, Zizrar's underground, Brain Freezer's has ice, Mr. Black and Mr. White look like they're inside the base, and Gil looks like he's in his room, judging by the surfboard. Perhaps we'll see another beach episode, and we'll see him surf again. I've also noticed that Albert and Gil are also wearing the same glasses that Dookie can be seen wearing here. Also, for anyone who's saying, hey, I want to see Sissy in this style, damn, I wish she was playing this video game with them. Yeah, no, talking cats freak her out. Now, you may also be saying, how come talking cats don't freak out Gil? And I would have to reply that, obviously, Anyway, we hear Dookie saying, you know they're gonna come after us first. So, this actually gives us insights to the mechanics of Melee Island. I'm guessing that it's some kind of a battle royale game. We then see Johnny and Dookie log into the game and we see their avatars load in. So their avatars are lookalikes of themselves in battle armor. Johnny's character looks ready to battle, and he most certainly has a head of fiery hair. Now turn around so we can see if you have a turbocharged backpack. Oh. Dookie's avatar appears to be a dog with a fire hydrant cosmetic worn as a hat. I love that. After that, we hear another line revealing a mechanic. Dookie saying, find the blasters. So, from that, we can infer that there are weapons lying around the Melee Island, where the characters can find them and use them in combat. Next up, Mr. Black and Mr. White load into the game, and we get to see their avatars. Their avatars appear to be themselves as 8-bit models with huge sunglasses, so it looks like they love classic gaming quirks. After they jump away, we see Mr. Mittens riding on Albert's back while he's holding a blaster. Mr. Mittens' avatar has a mohawk, and Albert's is wearing a monocle around his left eye while wearing a British hat. Next up, Susan and Mary spawn in. Susan's avatar has a star-shaped head with a face wearing her square glasses, and Mary's is herself, wearing a giant blue bow with her moon symbol on it. Adorable. Speaking of adorable, the next one we see spawn in is Dark Vegan's avatar. He's a Muppet now. Anyway, we see him without a mask, with either a big piece of broccoli in his mouth, or that broccoli is a mustache. We then see Brain Freezer, Gil, and Zizrar spawn in. Brain Freezer's avatar has a ice cream cone cosmetic as a hat. Gil has nothing unique to his character. Why? Because he's just perfect the way he is. Gil. Anyway, we see Zizrar's avatar wearing funny glasses, bow tie, and mustache. And finally, Bling Bling's avatar appears. I've noticed that we haven't seen him in the Zoom call from earlier, but perhaps he was supposed to be in the center on account that there was a loading screen in there. I mean, that's my new favorite character, Loading Screen Larry. Anyway, I'll just leave the video here and say people's dreams are gonna come true with this image. Bye. We then see Bling Bling in his volcano lab. He joins their game and is bragging about his mech upgrade and saying that he spent a lot on it. So much that he cannot remember. So he turns to his scientists, where one of them confirms that he spent $18,407. We then see Bling Bling eliminate Mr. Mittens and Albert with one blast. I found this part interesting. Here where we can see the screen's perspective from Mr. Mittens. So it's a first-person perspective. There's a compass in the top left corner and life bars in the top right corner. Another reason why I found this interesting is that here we were actually given some insight to a never seen before room inside the mansion. I believe the only time we've seen inside his mansion was in 00 Johnny and My Dinner with Johnny. So I hope to see more home life from the others as well. Later we see that everyone's in the Zoom call and Bling Bling appears in the center, but above, Mr. Mittens and Albert's webcam is gone. So perhaps there's a connected mechanic to this upon getting killed. Anyway, after that, Johnny says, "Okay everybody, you know what to do." Everyone replies with "clicking now," and Bling Bling's face becomes shocked. After that, it appears that everyone has voted to kick Bling Bling from the session. Eugene complains to his scientists that they've kicked him off again. Again, meaning this isn't the first time. Man, he must be a troll. Alright guys, time to check out the next one. Here we have Johnny dressed nicely, with his hair all fancy like. This sneak peek can easily be compared with one of my favorite scenes in the trailer where the family is posing for a family photo. In the background, there appears to be a model of Gil's head on the screens. After that, Johnny sees Dookie rapidly cutting Susan and Mary's hair. This scene actually really reminds me of Susan and Mary's goal in Johnny vs. the Mummy. Later, we see Dookie rush over to the left side of the screen. He grabs some of Susan's hair and angrily cuts it off. A few seconds later, it quickly grows back. So from this, we can guess what is going on here. Anyway, Susan demands that someone should press the red button to activate a new untested experiment called the Lipid Layer Phaser Beam. Next up is a joke that caught me off guard and I found very humorous. We get a first-person perspective of Dookie's dog black and white vision. I also found this scene quite interesting because this had some lore to it. So as we know, Susan and Mary have genetically modified Dookie to their standards and gave him human-like abilities. So here it's revealed that Dookie was not given colored vision. Anyway, back on track. The beam fixed their hair, but they've shrunk. Once they've realized they've shrunk, once seeing a giant Johnny, he asks them if they want him to stall someone called Paul some more. So I'm assuming that this person is a family photographer? On his way out, I found another joke that I just love so much. Johnny wants to grab this new invention on his way out. This is a blaster. It is unclear what this blaster does. However, there is a liquid tube held at the back. So as Johnny grabs it, the girls scream, "No!" and Johnny just walks away saying, "Boo!" I love that. Alright, now for the final one. I held this one for last because I thought most of you guys would find the most hype within this one. So, here it is. Behold your eyes, cause you are just gonna be blown away when you see this sneak peek. So, here we go. Time to get serious. Here we see a city, presumably Porkbilly, or a city in the Tinymon universe. We see some familiar creatures like Baboomerang and Screecherine. That's right, we've got our long-awaited new lore extension onto the Tinymon universe. I mean, since the Lost Web series is holding out on being released, we do know of a potential AR game called Tinymon Go, but until then, this is the newest lore for that. Either way, we see Baboomerang and Screecherine destroying buildings. I wonder what made them do that. Leave me your theories. Johnny, Susan, and Mary, on the ground, walk into an evolution of Kadoomerang, spitting Dookie out from his mouth. Behind Kadoomerang, we see some other Tinymon we've never seen before. There's an orange fire type one, a blue gooey monster type, and a small black hypnosis/ghost type. The screen pans out, and we see the return of the one, the only Blast Ketchup, with a new and badass Tinymon we've never seen before. So this is obviously our first time seeing Blast in the new style, and if that's not epic enough, we also get our first look at the general in the new style. Here, he's charging in with a tank, So from this, I believe somehow Blast has entered Porkbilly the same way Johnny and the gang were able to enter their world. He sent his Tinymon to destroy Johnny's hometown as revenge, and the general's here to stop these creatures. Also, we see our first look at this badass Tinymon's abilities. He can shoot a purple beam out of his mouth and vaporize the target. We later see Blast challenging Johnny and the gang, and something I've noticed in the shots is that the fire type Tinymon seems to be behind Johnny. So I'm wondering if they've tamed this Tinymon and it's on their side. And same with the Kadumarang evolution and the dopey gooey Tinymon. Anyway, Blast and his Tinymon jump away, and Johnny has a little chit-chat with a chipmunk. Eh? Get it? Me funny, right? I'd like to hear from you guys. What sneak peek was your favorite out of all? Melee Island, the family photo one, or the Tinymon one? But anyway guys, as usual, if you want to see more Johnny Test news, top 10s, that kind of stuff, why not subscribe to my channel and you will not regret it. I would also like to let you guys know that I'm currently doing a Let's Play series on the channel of Doki Doki Literature Club and SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. If any of you are looking for something to watch or keep up with, or something funny to laugh along with, I would highly recommend giving one of those series a try. Any support on one of those series would be immensely appreciated. And otherwise, I will hope to see you guys in the next video. Stay fresh.